Kanan, you realized that in the middle of your school that you wanted to be in bands. And you've been in many bands and so many permutation combinations of it.
Yeah.
Like you didn't take a signal out of it and then you continued being in bands.
Of course, you've been in bands, man.
I've been
You've
in
been in bands.
Hey,
But
man.
We all know.
Yeah.
We've all been in bands.
We've all been in bands. But if you... Being in a band is a very, very Saas Bahu type chemistry you have with your... Because here's the vocalist and the drummer never get along. This is true for every band because it's the strongest egos in the front and the back of the band. And everybody else is just in the middle, like, can we... So we had a 6-piece band and like people kept leaving and we just kept going on with the band. We just figured out how to play the same song with less instruments. It was amazing. Well, a 6-piece band, one guy left. Oh, I guess we're a 5-piece band now. 5-piece band, one guy left. 4-piece band. And okay, now 4-piece band, we had to think of a name. So we came up with Nye, which was, we were huge in the Bangalore circuit. It was all metal bands and one weird band in the middle called Nye. So it was like Dark Souls, Enemy, Cancerous Erection, just vacuous emptiness in the middle. We were huge on Orkut in the time, and then a vocalist and drummer had a fight, and now we were just a 2-piece band. And it was getting very difficult, but then the vocalist came back and said, can I play with you guys? And I was like, of course you can, you must play drums. So I made the vocalist drummer, and that's how I got to be the front man. And it's really why I started comedy, because when I started being the front man, I was like, you can make fun of the audience. Yeah, it's amazing. When one guy wasn't paying attention, I was like, fucking can't pay attention, and the crowd was like, what? Dynamic leaders? Yeah, I was going to experiment with sticks and throw them at it's too much.
By that time you quit. You actually had a drummer because when you were younger, you were quite like the big guy. Your drummer used to always call you on for fights. Big guy, like a front man.
What are you trying to say?
I mean, I'm like front guy, front man. You're fat.
Very fat, yeah.
Do you have an image? No, that is...
It's not very fat.
No, his face, that's the thing with Kanan's face. It looks thin, but look at the width.
This was when we were a 4-piece band. We practiced in my parents' room. There's a rocking chair at the back.
There's a guy at the bottom, I just noticed.
That's the vocalist.
Oh, okay.
Who later became the drummer?
Is
that the guy who used to call you for fights?
Yeah, the skinny guy over there.
Yeah.
So he used to call me, he used to get in fights all the time. He weighs 40 kgs.
Right.
Okay, and school he used to take a panga with everybody that was possible. He used to go to other schools and start shit.
Right.
And then he would call me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not strong, I'm fat. You must understand the difference. He would call me to be his backup for all these fights. So I remember one time, they had a fight over a girl, okay, who was not dating either him or the other guy. But they were like, how could you look at her? How could you look at her? She has no idea both of these men exist. Okay?
Right.
So, and that guy called me, he's like, Kanan, come outside. So I went, and there was a gang. This fellow is facing a gang, and he was like, haha, you wait. I've got my friend. And I was like, what's this? So you have a first in command and 2 IC, second in command, all gangs, okay? Then you have extras who are not really fighting, who just shown up for like, fight happening, not happening.
उनका काम है उड़ना.
Basically, they're at the back like, arey, dekho. There's always one mediator who initiates a compromise between 2 fighting parties. Basically, fights are about how long you can go before fighting. These 2 guys get really close to each other, like, tu bolna kuch, tu bolna kuch, tu bolna kuch, tu bolna kuch, tu bolna kuch. Then the compromise guys come like, guys, can we compromise? And so the second in command guy took me aside and he was like, yo, we're going to beat up your friend. And I was like, okay. So I still didn't know we were in a fight. He was like, which school are you from? I said, Frank Anthony's. He was like, I just beat up someone from Frank Anthony's that day. It's like, okay. Who? Then he named one guy and I was like, dude, I hate that guy. So while the drummer is getting beaten up, I was fully bonding with the other guy. We exchanged numbers. They called me to coffee. They were like, if you're ever looking to join a gang, we have an opening.